Here we go!
Yes. Feel like I'm playing Mario Kart. And I'm winning.
Select your character. The spice.
Man, actually, yeah.
Alright, cheers everybody. Cheers. Let's do a cheers. Cheers, Cal.
Virtual cheers. Cheers,
Young
man,
Calvin.
back.
Cheers, Jeff. Cheers, you. Cheers, everybody.
Yes.
Nothing but love in this room.
That's us.
Yes. Welcome back to another episode. Johnny's going to fade it out manually by
Dials with the rotaries.
the two rotaries. Very professional. How you doing, Ollie? We got Ollie back. How are you, man?
I'm very well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Despite circumstances.
Yeah. Things are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I just want to, I guess, give people some background. Like, I have always known you to be someone that I can talk to, and I think like every now and again you meet people that are super chill to talk to, and you're one of those people.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, man, totally. Can we have Ollie up a bit more?
Yeah. 2, 1, 2.
Yeah. So what's been you, man? What's been happening? I've been a little bit off the radar for a while. But
yeah. As have I, man. I've been living in a bit of a cave.
Yeah.
Just sort of trying to stay focused on music despite circumstances and state of the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, of course, digging deep and staying in touch with everything as much as I can, because it's a bit of a,
It's a fucking shit show is what it is right now.
Thank you. That's exactly it. It's just a shit show of just opinions and information and misinformation. And so it's pretty crazy, but I suppose, I've been trying to juggle reality with a music fantasy world.
Yeah.
Just focusing on the album and getting it done. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's cool that you're still going with your music stuff.
Yeah, well,
that's really cool.
It's kind of like we've questioned it, we've chatted about it quite a bit, and it's just sort of. I also think the music I've written is very sort of suitable for the times.
Okay.
I wrote it in advance, sort of expecting some circumstances like this to unfold. So. I feel like it's pretty suitable, so that's another reason why we kind of want to put it out. Yeah, so...
Speaking of that, I was going to remember, you actually posted something on Facebook, like at the end of last year or something?
Yeah, middle of last year.
Making a prediction about some sort of virus or something.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I believe in a universal sort of consciousness, and I think people do feel with their intuition, and I think a lot of people felt like I did anyway. Like, I don't want to give the impression like I feel like I know shit more than the next person, but I deleted my Facebook because I knew some stuff was going down that would fragment everyone.
Hard.
And like I think I felt that, like, I'll be honest, like for the last 2 years I've stopped even looking at, like, I barely log in to social media, but I'll log in to post stuff and then kind of exit. But I try to keep it minimal. But because of the last year where I never logged into Facebook, I kind of I think the transition for me was easier.
Yeah.
Than someone that's on there all the time.
Constantly.
So, yeah. But I think I definitely felt like something was coming that would really kind of divide a lot of people.
Oh yeah, massively.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Massively.
I was just hoping for the death of Facebook.
Oh yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Well,
I've been wishing on that, and I know a lot of people watching would be like, "What the hell? You use Facebook all the time?" But I use Facebook for one reason. I don't really use it to socialize. I don't use it to make friends. I don't use it. I don't even use it to like promote my music. Really, I use it purely to like push information unrelated to my music.
Well, you can't do that anymore, can you? No. Facebook's all like locking down on all their shit, which is we're gonna already go deep, because I got pissed off with Mark Zuckerberg and his hypocritical bullshit, talking about how Twitter's doing their fact checking and controlling the information, and he was saying stuff like they shouldn't be the, what's the word starting with A, not advocate or arbitrators of truth or something like that. I'm like, that's coming from truth, Mark Zuckerberg. Fuck off.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg running the platform that terms and conditions change weekly. It's like, fuck off, man.
Do you know, when that whole, what was that scandal that came out about the Analytica, Cambridge Analytica, I was like bracing myself for a mass exodus from Facebook, but everybody stayed on it despite the privacy concerns.
Yeah,
and that to me was more concerning than the privacy concerns.
Yeah, legit.
Was the fact that everyone went oh, cool, they're openly favoring one side.
Yeah, legit.
And not giving airtime, or even they were caught literally just finding certain keywords and not letting me post it, and shadow banning people. And we all know the whole wave and influx of things like YouTube demonetizing, accounts if they don't fit with the narrative, things like that. Massive, big push from big tech to basically be the arbiters of truthful information, which is really, really weird. When did tech companies give a fuck about anything?
Legit, man.
When? I'd like to think they do.
Oh, it's all the marketing business behind that. They can use it to push out adverts for other companies that make the money. That's why when we say we can sign up for free or we can do stuff for free, there's no such thing as free.
No.
Someone's making money somewhere, and we're all getting fucked.
You're the currency if it's free.
Your data is actually the currency. Yeah.
It is now. Your data is a currency when you talk about Bitcoin and stuff. When they're using fucking data to create these blockchain bits and pieces.
True that.
Yeah. So really ironic that Zuckerberg is calling. And I happily bag up Zuckerberg. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. He's
him and
savage.
Eric Schmidt from Google. All these fuckheads, man. They should be in jail for what they did.
Yeah.
Haven't all three of them faced Congress hearings and shit multiple times in the last year?
Yeah.
Over all kinds of shit. It's
legit, man. I had one of my platforms. I posted something on one of my platforms, and it I saw the effect instantly, and it made me check myself properly, because I use one platform that I use a lot, and for my own promotion's sake. And so I posted something, and it just they let me know straight away, and it's just just watch my traffic just go like this. And I was just oh wow, I was just okay,
fucking crazy.
Yeah, it really was. It was just oh wow, okay, I got the message there.
Yeah.
So just I'll keep this platform for that and this platform for that. I was just
even just as subtle as the shadow ban. And for people that don't know what shadow banning is just when they don't.
They just limit your access, your reach.
Exactly,
your traffic.
They just push you down so that nobody can find you.
Yeah.
Or they don't notify people.
Doesn't go anywhere.
Exactly, yeah. Or they don't notify people that there's new content. And
that's why I only have 300 friends. But I only actually know about 5 of them.
Oh, it's always the way, man.
You have 5 friends?
No.
He's lying.
Liar. Yeah, but interesting times. But you see, the thing that I find that I have in common with you is that we both, or maybe you as well, or everyone here, is that we approach social media from an artistic point of view.
Yeah.
So I kind of put up a bit of a front, to be honest, to protect my own privacy.
Yeah, hard.
Whereas I'm amazed at how many people. I know it's ironic coming from a guy that has a podcast where I talk about everything, but people that will catalog their daily life on there with no hesitation whatsoever about what's being collected.
Yeah, I'm very conscious of that. That you'll see on my platform, man. My platform's a bit of a mystery to most people, even my own followers, because I'm not really letting you know what I'm doing, and I don't want you to know what I'm doing until I've done it.
Exactly, yeah.
It's that's the way it goes. It's we're not. I'm never want to give you a clue of where I am until I'm not there anymore.
But why do people find that weird?
I suppose because they expect what you said. They expect the social media to be an inlet into my life, and it's well, I'm going to choose how much of that you get. because that's
Exactly.
I'd like to preserve my privacy for many reasons, for personal reasons, for business reasons.
Yep.
Bro, like,
I mean, like, not to sound cheesy, but you know how people use VPNs and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
Hard, bro.
my personal VPN is the filter that I put on what I say before it goes out.
Yeah.
So I make sure everything's curated so that if I want to be provocative or drop something, that I do it in the way that I want to do.
Yeah.
But it's becoming increasingly hard to do that because, you know, people look at your Facebook as a resume of who you are.
Who you are, yeah.
So they refer to it and they go,
man.
what about this from last year?
Right.
You think that this...
Speaking
like,
of that, I'm surprised I haven't been bloody kicked off, banned, or taken out the back and shot.
I was
said on Facebook over the last couple of years.
Dude, I was about to say, that'd been a loony bin. If you judge my Facebook.
So, were you a MySpace person before Facebook?
Hell yeah, man. MySpace was the jam.
I'm trying to remember that transition from MySpace to Facebook, and
I remember it.
It was all like Facebook was all like event based. It was about creating events, sharing events, sending out invites, getting the groups and stuff going. But then it turned into just that whole political platform where people started saying what they wanted, which was fair enough. But then when other people started jumping in and shutting other people down for the things they were saying, as if saying what you're saying is, you're not allowed to say what you're saying, but we can say what we're saying. It's like,
fully.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have my Facebook. I don't log onto it. I don't use it. I don't. It's still there.
Yep. I remember when it came out and it was like people weren't really using it. Not many people were jumping over, and it was actually like my auntie, like my parents and shit. They were actually using it first. And like, oh, you know, it connects you to people you know. And I'm like, what? Like, why do I want that? Like, I've got MySpace. I've got my friends. Like, what? I don't need it to connect me to like someone I may know. It's like, you know, that wasn't even a thing on MySpace. It didn't suggest friends to you on MySpace. You added people if you knew them. And so like that whole thing was just so foreign. And I just remember people being on Facebook and going, oh yeah, you should do it. And just being like, no, like that's whack. And then MySpace died and everyone kind of got forced over.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what I keep saying. Like, I feel like the only reason Facebook is still going is because there is no alternative. I mean, there is Twitter, but Twitter's got such a different community mindset.
Twitter's just like trash talking purified.
And it's a distillation of trolling, basically, and witty remarks. But even Twitter's being really controlled at the moment. Like, I think I've seen about 3 or 4 privacy policies rolled out within 1 week.
But at the end of the day, don't Facebook own Twitter as well? They own Twitter, they own Instagram.
Well, Twitter. No, Facebook owns Instagram and WhatsApp. I think Twitter's separate.
Still separate.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Increasingly now, I find that Twitter's basically just a celebrity echo chamber.
Oh yeah, hard.
Like it's basically a blue check war.
Hard.
And they're basically there to bolster the narrative. I think there's no Meanwhile, like other legitimate accounts just get kind of pushed out. To make way for these blue checks that suddenly are the beacons of morality. All of a sudden they know everything about everything.
Yeah, legit.
But it's interesting, man. I've been running from one sinking ship to another. I'm like, cool, all right, I'll go to Twitter. Oh, wow, that's getting fucked up
just
too.
Like rats jumping from one pirate ship to the next.
Exactly, that's how
this
how
one
I
will
feel.
float.
Oh shit, damn it. Yeah, but interesting times. But I've kind of just, I think it's responsible on my part, like that I'm staying away from social media. But,
well, like CZ's done the same thing. Yeah, he's just like decided to keep his focus, so he's just sort of backed off social media for a bit. Yep.
Does it feel good? Yeah. You realize how liberating it is, right? When you're not thinking about what other people
are thinking.
Focus on what you want to be doing. Like there's no distractions in the outside world.
Yeah, man.
What you want to bring into your life, that's what you have.
There's no noise.
Yeah.
There's no noise. Right?
Well, I remember I was, a couple of years back when I was big playing bands and stuff, I was always pushing, I wanted to get more followers. I needed to get the band pushing and all this sort of stuff. And now I'm just like, not because I'm not playing at the moment, just because I just don't care anymore. I feel like the whole, getting into having thousands of followers and then being bought in, like not selling out, but being dragged into this system, which I look at now from the outside that I don't really agree with. And
Yeah,
I'm kind of, part of
totally.
me is like glad I'm not in that.
Totally.
And it's just,
Totally, man.
Yeah.
which kind of sucks because I'd like to be in it.
For me, I just look
But-
at it as a byproduct. I keep exactly the same train of thought as you. Is like the numbers and the people. They don't really. It doesn't mean anything. And if you let it mean something, you're already off track.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, that whole thing's a byproduct. And I don't want, man, I don't want the attention. I'm an introvert. I like the music side of it.
Yeah.
I like the creative side of it.
I mean, I'm just not ready to sacrifice babies and eat body parts and
How long are we into this?
Oh, geez, that was really quick. So you're not into spirit cooking, are you, Johnny? Yeah, all right.
but I have many Microsoft products.
0 to 100. Oh shit.
Marina Abramovich and Bill Gates. Yeah.
Shit.
But that's the thing, and I think when I called you like the other day, you brought up something that really hit me. Was like, what is scary is the drive for people's success is overriding their moral compass almost.
Oh yeah, man.
So at the end of the day, like if you have to fall into a narrative to guarantee that you're going to keep this record deal or this whatever,
you do it.
people will fucking do it,
Yeah,
man.
destroys-
People are going to do it.
It destroys creativity as well.
Yeah,
because everyone's just trying to follow that same train that makes all the money. And
Everyone
Yeah.
wants to be validated. Everyone wants to be validated for what they think, and they want to get approval and that tick. you
Yeah,
know?
legit. Like I was having a chat to this guy on Insta Live, and one of the comments, like we were talking similar like this, we're just talking about some deep stuff, and like one of the comments from this dude, he was just like, he was harassing me, and he was like, oh, like, you know, you want to like break into like the music industry in the States. He's like, you shouldn't be talking like this if you want to be a rapper. And I was just like, I saw it as we were like, me and this other guy were talking. I saw the comment come, and I was like, yo, like this right here, man. I was like, this is what's wrong. I was like, it's actually like my duty as an artist to have a fucking opinion. It's like the fact that you're telling me to make it, I shouldn't have an opinion. I shouldn't speak on like sensitive issues.
You're allowed to have an opinion as long as you choose from the selected opinions that have been given to you.
A, B, or C, but nothing outside. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
And I just like, we stopped the conversation and I just went in on him. I was just like, no, man, like that right there is why like you have a wash of like generic music. And like no artists are interesting, or like, I mean there's a lot of interesting artists and being very broad.
Well, that's the
like,
like,
you know,
you look at like there's so much independent music and independent artists that are doing so much stuff, but they're I'm not gonna say they're down the bottom, but they're not up on those the pedestals with the same shit we see every fucking time.
Yeah.
exactly. It's got to fit the narrative.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And yeah, it's disturbing how you can't, like, remember punk rock? Remember like God Save the Queen and all that shit, where it was like rallying against like the status quo.
Hell yeah,
and
dude.
actually
Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine, like poking
My favorite
holes and
bands.
shit.
Yeah.
But it seems now like this synthetic version of that has taken its place.
Hard. It's like Disney censorship over like Rage Against the Machine.
Totally. So like even when they are, you know, anti-establishment, it's still anti-establishment within the boundaries.
Yeah. Legit.
Like, so it's not really anything.
From a political perspective of like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
anarchy over justice.
I don't know, man. Like, since when do you have to fall in line politically to have a career? It's crazy. Like, you see it everywhere.
Yep.
No matter what it is. I'm not taking a side or a stance on anything in particular, but it's like
it should be
even
especially
even gaming, like playing a game now, it's got to have some political belief. Like watching a football game or whatever in America, it's like it has a belief attached to it, like or a political push for something, like and all these like
leave it alone.
Exactly, like all these companies coming out now saying that they care about people. Like, really?
Since when?
Since fucking when?
Since when?
Remember Gillette? Remember that whole thing that came out about Gillette? Where they were, and like they were all like talking about this. Oh no, this is gonna be a hot potato. This is gonna be very hot potato. Talking about toxic masculinity, things like that. Which I believe there's a certain degree of that that's real.
Yeah.
But a fucking couple of years ago, you were having skimpy girls dancing, promoting Gillette.
Selling your razors.
Basically, corporations will do a whole 180 if it makes them more money.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck? Like, these guys don't actually care.
Yeah, literally. It's like, studies show this year that we need to have this opinion to sell more.
Exactly, yeah.
That's all it is.
Oh, it's just weird, but I don't know where to go to now. I'm happy staying away from things.
Yeah,
now.
Same.
And
I felt like that with the whole quarantine thing kicking in and people.
How did you do in the whole
isolating?
In the whole COVID thing, like
dude, I think a lot of creatives and musos and stuff can relate. It's like, man, this is how we live.
Yeah.
This isn't different for us. This is how we choose to live, with or without some scamdemic, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Just like, man, it's like, oh, stay home. It's like, yep.
1 week later.
I was doing that anyway.
I was doing that anyway.
Only go to the shops when you need to. Yep. Don't go out. Nope. Don't really need to tell me.
Yeah, but
wear a mask. Everybody wears one every day anyway.
Ooh, fuck, I never thought of that. Holy shit. But yeah, I feel like people are changing their tune to suit whatever. And how funny, like a month ago, that we were scared as fuck sitting inside, you know, not wanting to look at each other in the eye, not wanting to do anything, and then how quickly the flavor changes, huh?
When I want to see what's coming, I turn on Netflix. And I just look at all the shows that they've just released. And there's like Pandemic, there's like Robot Cops, there's like UFOs, like UFO takeovers. I'm like, okay, this is happening. This is definitely happening. This is happening.
Oh, totally. And here's where the fucking hypocrisy comes into it. It's like, where all of us were talking about Epstein fucking a year ago, 2 years ago. We watched this motherfucker die in prison, right? Everyone's like, do you guys think it's a conspiracy?
Yeah.
You're going to think it's a conspiracy? And then
Can you talk like that all the time?
Yeah, well, conspiracy. And then literally 3 months later, they're like, have you seen the Epstein documentary on Netflix?
Yeah, legit.
Oh my God, this dude was like, so because Netflix say it, you fucking listen.
Yeah. It's like, oh, do you know that there was a billionaire that had an island that was molesting little kids and bringing politicians?
Yeah, we did.
We were saying that fucking years ago.
We were yelling it at you.
It's like
you abused us.
Yeah, but see, no one cared. No one cared when we were saying the Clintons were involved. No one cared when we said Bill Gates was involved. But as soon as you put Trump in there, everyone's fucking on it like dogs.
Because it's easy. It's like he's, you know, like, this is the thing I've always said, is that he's not a politician, and that's what makes it so easy for them. Is, man, no one gives a fuck about any politicians. No, I don't care what you say, man. Nobody cares. No one cares about fucking Hillary Clinton. No one cares about Joe Biden. No one cares about Obama. No one's taking time out of their day to give a fuck about these people until it comes down to elections and there's pressures on them to make decisions to, like, impact their society. It is, I just don't believe it's bar of it. But, like, my point is like, Trump is a personality. So instantly people talk about him. He's on Twitter. He's interactive. He's funny. He's also controversial. He's also like off the hip, man. He goes off script all the time.
A celebrity.
That's the point. It's like he's got media value. No, you can't run a story on Hillary Clinton. People are going to click off after the first minute. No one wants to see her face. Like, it's like, it's what it is. He's a celebrity. So it makes sense that they can milk him like this so heavily.
Oh, totally. I mean,
can I just drop this, and this is going to, I don't know how this is going to come out, or how I'm going to put this out. But so people have been tweeting the photo of apparently a naked Trump getting his body tan done.
Oh, yeah.
And first of all, I think, well, isn't that kind of a bit body shaming? You're putting down a person because of their body and having a small dick. But it's okay for these people to come out and give shit to a grown man who is the president of the United States of America. Yeah. But if you were to do that to someone else, you'd be fucking destroyed.
Hard. That's one thing.
Standards.
That's one thing I've always thought about the Donald Trump thing. And I saw, like, when he first got into presidency, when he first got elected, like, I saw some chick post on the internet exactly what my thoughts were, and she was saying like genuinely, like, everyone needs to shut the fuck up. This guy's the president now. He's the president of your country. all the TV shows, all the actors, all the comedians, all these people shredding the president. Like, you've never done this in history to any other president. No matter how fucked they were, you're not allowed to do this. This is your president. You diss your president, you pay the repercussions. No one else, you do. Because this is the guy that got in. So you've got to wait your fucking turn. But like, while it seemed like the first time they just like let the floodgates open, all media platforms, all late night talk shows, like everyone just shredding him. It's like, dude, this is the president. Like, how is this flying?
Well,
regardless of his opinions. And
sorry to cut you off,
know?
but I also want to say, like, don't people find that, like, if you, not even as a left or a right person or whatever you want to,
not even on either side.
just as a neutral, critically thinking person, don't you find it in the least bit suspicious that the majority consensus from all these media platforms all unanimously agree to rag on this one guy? And I'd love to think that it's because he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to think that there's something deeper. There's more to it. There's more to it, and he's possibly undermining their paycheck. And that's the only reason they're fucking scared. I'm serious.
But this is where it goes in. So you could argue that when he became president, the reason no one trusts him is because they thought that the Russians helped him become president. So almost arguing that he wasn't actually democratically elected, which actually turns out now was completely bullshit.
Yeah,
and that's what's actually right now is being investigated. Because they did a whole 3-year investigation to see if Trump colluded with the Russians. Turns out he did not. They're still saying that the Russians did influence have a political influence, but who doesn't have a political influence? If you post shit on Facebook, you're influencing the election and shit. But Trump did not actually collude with the Russians. Therefore, he was actually democratically elected. Yet people are still going on about it. And right now, it's just like,
I just love how like they go, Hillary Clinton's emails get leaked. She should literally be instantly put in jail. And then they go, oh, but he used the Russians to get the emails, so like he's bad. Yeah. And it's like, wait a second, slow your roll. Like, I don't care who he used to get the emails. Let's look at the emails. It's like,
I'm more interested. How many people know about this? 600,000 emails.
Can I? So I actually, because I've been following this shit the last couple of days. This is what's going on. Do you know who was actually involved? There were 2 people at the forefront of this entire Russian collusion crap. There was this one guy called George Papadopoulos.
That's a great name.
I don't even know it's a real name. But he was sitting down with the Australian Foreign Affairs Minister to the UK, Alexander Downer. You remember that guy? It was Alexander Downer who heard some rumor that the Russians had these emails had Clinton's emails. So rather than going to ASIO and let the Australian intelligence know about it, he went beyond them and went directly to the US to let the US know that Russia supposedly had these emails on Clinton. So essentially, Alexander Downer should be in fucking prison for not following protocol. But as you're saying, these emails came out. They were on WikiLeaks.
They were actually out, yeah.
And some of the shit in those emails is fucking...
Bro, I read some of them. That's why I was so shocked.
That's illegal. Apparently.
We'll take that part out.
No. What I mean is there were news articles like in the US and stuff saying that anyone that possesses or reads these Clinton emails can pretty much be threatened with prison. Like, it's essentially it's against the law to read and possess the emails.
It's public knowledge. It's everywhere.
Exactly, but that's just another threat. Like, it just
legit.
Like, why would you be protecting these emails? Like,
what's even funny is people call those emails a conspiracy theory. That's even funnier. Like, how blatant do you need the leak for you to fucking believe?
Julian Assange is in prison because of the leaks. Like, how is that a conspiracy? There's a guy literally in prison right now because of it, probably dead. Like.
And
it's not real.
Okay, so I do want to clear this up. So a lot of people were pointing out that on Tuesday, people were overlooking the fact that Hillary Clinton was in court about the emails and stuff. Point out, she was not actually in court. It was a phone call through her lawyers or through her attorneys or whatever.
But she lost the appeal.
She lost. So she was having an appeal saying that she doesn't want to sit in front of a courtroom and explain her emails. She lost that.
So now she has to...
Yep. In September, I think it's the 3rd or the 6th of September, she has to sit in front of I don't know if it's Congress or a courtroom, and explain those 600,000 emails.
I think that is when she'll go down.
Can we talk about September?
Yeah, man. What about September?
It's the month that I keep hearing.
Yeah.
It's the month that everything happens.
October and September. Yeah, that's when everything's going to really go down. September, October, yeah.
Everything's going to happen in September, man.
I think things are just ramping up, and I'm not saying this because I like it.
No.
But I genuinely think things are just beginning to heat up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's nothing to do with what we think it is.
No.
It's all smoke and mirrors to cover up this really fucking evil underbelly.
I just think that there is such a bigger issue, which you could almost say is a root cause of a lot of the shit we're dealing with now. But no one wants to. People want to put a Band-Aid on a fucking leaking bucket, but not realize what's causing the bucket to overflow or some analogy.
That's
like
exactly right. It's like, let's look at the symptoms but not the cause. Yeah. It's always the way.
I think because if people had to admit what's causing the problem, we kind of break the entire foundation of understanding.
I know, yeah.
People don't want to think that other people can be that bad. That's what it always comes back to. No, no one would do that.
Not only that, but they don't have
They've already done it.
I also can't blame them because they have no frame of reference for that level of deception and evil.
The thing that trips me out though is like, yeah, you're right. But like the thing that trips me out though is like, you know, take the tinfoil hat off. Man, most of the stuff that like triggered me to be what would be categorized as a conspiracy head or someone that reads into everything was history. It was actually just reading history and being like, man, they actually did this? What? Like just going back through like just 1930s, 1890s, 1880s, like not even that far back, and just looking at things that the governments have done, and you're just like, man, like again, it's like they don't have a reference point, but it's not like you need to go onto some like dark web blog to find some horrific things. It's like it's in the history books, man.
Oh, totally, man. And
like,
the amount of times that like I said this to heaps of guests, how many times I've like brought up actual historical events and people are like, really? That's a conspiracy. Number one is how the Nazis actually funded all the American fuel for the jets and stuff during the World War.
And the English made all the like bullets for both sides.
Pearl Harbor. Everyone knows about Pearl Harbor, right? Pearl Harbor, all that bullshit that happened. The Operation Northwoods. This is basically kindergarten shit. One more thing I just want to bring up.
Flexing
I'm flexing my tinfoil. The Tuskegee experiments. Where they willingly injected African Americans with syphilis as part of an experiment. Not only that, they paid them. Not only that, they told them that they would be protected and like they're part of an experiment. This is a government thing. Look, you get to help us. We'll help you. We'll pay you. And fucking all of them died. Or they had horrible disabilities after.
Oops, don't have to pay you.
Insane. And this was done. This is the thing. This is why I'm scared of this worship we have of people in white lab coats and science, right? Because some of the most evil shit has been done in the name of science. So where did this consensus come? Where it's from the World Health Organization. Let's listen to them.
Exactly,
it's fucking bullshit, man.
It's like, to me, there is.
Love your passion.
I'm sorry.
There is so much. I feel that there is so much more evidence to support these conspiracy theories than there is
to go against them.
Anything else. Like we come out with say, oh, we've got documents, we've got information. It's all there, but most people will just they don't want to look into it. They just want to be fed the information from the media, from the support group that they have, which gives a general consensus, which doesn't really provide real evidence. It's actually just saying, well, agree with, like, you must agree with this because everyone else does.
Yeah. And there's this doctor, Dr. Shiva, I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but he goes into a lot of like the medical side of things and how a lot of the medical industry and the science industry, they've gotten rid of scientific and medical method. And what they've done is they've introduced this kind of consensus-based ideology, where it's like, if enough of us agree on this,
then it is.
that is the truth.
Yeah.
And this is the standard, not only... Then we then push those ideologies through fact-checking. So if you don't align with these things...
Our own people's fact-checking.
Yeah, exactly.
I had
It's
this
crazy, man.
I had a thought at work last week, like an analogy. Let's just say that Microsoft did an update to their operating system.
Yep.
Where their calculator, if you put in 1 + 1 and it came up with 3. Let's say everyone using Microsoft, using Windows and opening up the calculator, if they did the calculation 1 + 1, it equals 3.
Yep.
How long would it take for that to become the
Standard. Yep.
Couple of years already.
Yeah.
Not very long.
not
Not very
even.
long.
Yeah.
Not very long. Yeah.
Because you could have so many, like, people saying, it almost become like a Mandela effect. Oh, do you remember the 1 + 1 used to equal 2? Well, it doesn't now, because look at it. We have a majority of people that believe 1 + 1 equals 3 because we have this. That can even go deeper into the whole programming. And if you can manipulate the program, you manipulate what people fucking believe. Like.
What do you think of the Mandela effect? You heard of that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, man. I feel like that's evident in history.
Yeah, okay.
It's something that sort of, I feel like, it is that flow-on effect, and it's a tactic that is very well used. Like, what's his name? Edward Bernays? Is that his name? Dude, like, that guy's social programming genius, and that relies heavily on, like...
The think tanks, right?
Yeah.
All those people experimenting with the psychology of people. Right?
And running things over, like, a 50-year period, They start the tests here when the people are this much old, and then it gets to here, and they know that this is just one generation, but that one generation is going to, like, have that overflow effect. Yep. And then their kids are going to have a side effect of their parents being influenced this way, and it's like a man-made Mandela effect, where it's like that constant
do you think it's like on a spiritual level, or do you think it's literally the changing of information? I think it's maybe both.
I think that question is one and the same.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of believe that everything is on a spiritual level, and I think that's kind of the biggest illusion of all, is that after money, after control, after power, after everything, what do you got left? Spirituality. And I think that's the point. Yeah. And so I think, like, whether it's social programming or, like, spiritual influence, I think they're one and the same.
Absolutely, yeah. I've always said this is like almost like spiritual warfare.
Hard. I always think
because if you were, let's just say there was really a benevolent force out there that's controlling everything, why would you not control? Like, why would you just control the mind and the body?
Yeah, exactly.
Why wouldn't you control the very essence of that human as well?
What is the opposite of science?
Oh, okay.
Why?
Because I wanted to think, like, I felt like religion would be the opposite of science, but no, because
science is religion.
Exactly. But what would be the opposite of science?
Gnosticism. So Gnosticism is the belief of spirituality through experience only. So it's like the same as what science should be. Science is proven by experience. That's what it's meant to be. You're meant to be able to prove your tests, not theorize them and then execute other ones off the theories. You need to be able to prove what your theory is and your method before you take the next step. Gnosticism is that same thing, but in spirituality. So I'd say that would be the opposite of science, right? Because it's not the physical study, it's the metaphysical study of the same reality. Yeah. Through direct experience.
And I think Gnosticism, yeah, you're right. It always places the responsibility on the person.
The individual.
You will find.
It's not about someone else telling you the path. Yeah. It's about what did you experience to lead you forward. Yeah.
And Hermeticism, Gnosticism, they're all like these kind of ancient ways of thinking. I actually think like even the older form of Christianity, that stuff was kind of this neo-paganism, Gnosticism mixed in with the Bible and stuff like that.
I feel like paganism was like post-Gnostic. It was like paganism was kind of it forming into a religion. Yep.
And to this day they exist. They're just more advanced forms of that same thing. I think. Yeah.
Well, apparently the only reason that I haven't labelled the KKK as a terrorist organisation is because it's a religion or it's some holy religion.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. That's apparently some reason why the KKK. There's a term like the holy. It's a holy.
Well, it's Christian.
Thing.
It is a Christian organization.
Yeah. So that's
Figure
why
that out.
Weird, huh?
that's why it can't be labelled as a terrorist organisation, but Antifa can.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, true.
I freaked Ollie out by enlarging Tom Hanks.
Tom
Yeah,
Hanks.
it's like,
Tom Hanks.
As Mr. Rogers.
Levitating the shoe.
Tom Hanks playing Mr. Rogers, so that's a pedophile playing a pedophile. Sorry, that's too much truth for some people, but yeah. Sorry. Ollie's laughing.
That was
Well,
very good.
okay. Here's one for the blue pillars.
Okay.
Okay.
What?
No. Okay. Everyone that's watching this Netflix documentary about Jeffrey Epstein and Trump. If you're going to start believing that Jeffrey Epstein, that there was that, I mean, he was a person. Mm-hmm. He did have an island. Mm-hmm. He was molesting young girls. He was sex trafficking young girls. He was hanging out with politicians, royalty, billionaires and stuff. So if all of that is real, then you have to kind of accept that all this other shit is real as well.
Yeah, exactly. You can't pick and choose.
You think about the one person that came out and pretty much outed Jeffrey Epstein, the one person that laid down all of this shit, who then ended up dying, was Mr. Isaac Cappy. He came out before all this. And he talked about... Suicided. Well, fucking decided to jump off a bridge and then get run over by a truck afterwards, after having just outed Tom Hanks, Steven Spielberg, Jeffrey Epstein, all these people, pretty much the Hollywood elite.
Pretty sure in one of his videos he even said, he's like, I'm not suicidal, and I'm not going to...
In his final video, he said he wasn't suicidal, yeah. There's a lot of deep shit that went into that. Like, a lot of people even think that he was hit with V2K shit.
Hey.
Oh, yeah, the hearing. What we mentioned it before on a podcast. Phil Collins.
Yeah, no,
he heard Phil Collins.
Did you hear about that shit?
No.
So basically, Isaac Cappy, for people that don't know, he is a kind of a... He was a...
Comedian, actor.
Allegedly.
Comedian / actor / musician. Like, he made music as well. He was in Thor. He was in a couple of movies. But he was never into, like, any big roles or anything like that. But... basically, he was noted for exposing a whole pile of people in Hollywood and what they did, including people like Seth Green.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Robot Chicken.
Yeah, Robot Chicken. Yeah, we all know what that means.
Chicken.
Yeah. But shit, you're woker than I thought.
But the thing is now.
Yeah.
Oh, so.
Hey, let me finish my story. Okay, so for people that don't know, that's his name is Isaac Cappy. But towards the end of, just before he died, he claimed that he was with a friend and in the car, because they went out to get tacos or whatever. I literally think it was tacos. But he was hit with music and no music was playing around him.
So he's just like...
In his head.
In his head.
Yeah, shit.
And he was being hit by it. But not only that, but suspiciously, the girl that he was with driving the car, because he was really unwell at this point, was hearing it too. So it's like they were beaming into, they were targeting the car itself. And the girl turned and looked at him and said, "Is this what you've been hearing the past year?" He's like, "Yeah, it's been happening for a year." Like, he's just kept it to himself. Like, and I reckon they were
bombarding him.
They were hitting him. They were ready to carry out the hit, so they were pushing him to the brink of insanity, as they often do.
But everyone,
to the point where
everyone said it was a conspiracy theory. Everyone said he is just some crazy guy. He must be hopped up on drugs, talking about all this shit. And then, shortly after he dies, Jeffrey Epstein gets arrested. All this shit comes out, and now they're putting documentaries on fucking Netflix about that person.
About that, exactly.
Yeah.
It's fucking unbelievable.
It's crazy,
but people essentially choose a narrative. They want to see this shit. They don't care about, actually, here's the guy that actually exposed all of this stuff and all these other people. They're just looking for this because it was presented to them at the time.
Yes.
People die for information that people gloss over.
Yeah.
People literally die to leak shit that people gloss over for 2 seconds and go, whatever.
Yeah, dismiss it.
And people literally die to give you that info. It's crazy. I didn't know you knew about Cappy, but
Oh yeah. Bro.
Yeah.
It's freaking nuts, man.
It's crazy, and I think it goes deeper than we even think. You know,
Yeah, like
underground bases, military intervention. Like you look at the site around where Cappy died and stuff like that. Just a lot of weird things.
well, I mean,
you know?
I don't. If we go deep into it, the whole, you've seen the TV show Westworld.
Yeah, man.
Where there's
Front to back.
apparently some Wild West town where it's all robots or some shit like that. They reckon that's based on Jeffrey Epstein's ranch
Island.
that he had.
Yeah, because little did people know, Jeffrey Epstein actually owned a lot of property. One of them was a ranch where he actually paid actors to act out this like
Cowboy shit.
cowboy Westworld. Basically, he wanted like a whole sovereign area that was untouched by the real world.
Yeah.
And he was he was investing in eugenic type stuff.
Yeah.
Which wasn't Prince Andrew involved with? Was it Prince Andrew?
Yeah, Prince. Well, yeah.
One of the fucking royal family.
Wow.
Yeah. But he basically he was infatuated with this idea of having slaves in his own town and being like running the city, like being the king of that city, right?
And then to find out that apparently Kobe Bryant was somehow connected with Jeffrey Epstein.
He was on the list, wasn't he?
Through his investment. So Kobe was giving money to one of Epstein's like investment firms, and
He was on the trust fund with Epstein.
the trust fund. Yeah, so people sort of thought, oh, maybe Kobe Bryant found out some stuff to do with that. But so far, Kobe died.
Yeah.
And then it finds out that this black guy that got murdered by this cop on a fucking camera was friends with Kobe Bryant, who introduced Kobe Bryant to fucking what's his name, Steven Jackson.
Steven Jackson, yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
George Floyd was mates with Kobe Bryant.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
What?
not only that,
I
but
didn't know that.
Yeah, wasn't Kobe Bryant was
Bruh.
was set to testify against one major pharmaceutical company.
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Over the use of Black Mamba.
Yeah.
Over the Black Mamba copyright almost. Yeah. And he just fucking went down.
Because after George Floyd was murdered, Steven Jackson, the NBA player, came out and he's saying, oh, my brother, my twin, all this sort of stuff. And it showed, and he had photos on his Instagram of him hanging out with George Floyd and his family and stuff. And he pointed out that he met George Floyd through Kobe Bryant. Because Kobe Bryant and George Floyd were mates.
Wow.
And there's George Floyd he wasn't a porn star, but he was filmed porn and shit. Big Floyd.
Big Floyd.
So there's this. You're going to tell me that it is a coincidence
I think
that all of these people leading all the way back to Jeffrey fucking Epstein is a coincidence?
One more thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't Kobe Bryant wearing a I Can't Breathe t-shirt?
Yes, and
that was his shirts that he was wearing at training.
Yeah.
For like one of the previous.
but no, like.
It's getting too much.
To quote the Great Conspiracy, how many coincidences before it becomes mathematically fucking impossible?
Yeah, legit. I think we're a few past that.
Yeah. But people, I don't know. People think because we contemplate this that we don't give a fuck about what the movement stands for.
Well,
shit like
it's
that.
insensitive to question at this point.
I think it's even more important when things happen that we have the courage to look
question,
into it.
yes.
Yeah, and it's not trying to be annoying. It's not trying to be edgy.
It's not dismissing the emotions.
Exactly. It's not dismissing the fact that there is a very real systemic racism everywhere.
Bro. Hard. I'd be the first person to talk about that, man.
Totally.
That's the thing.
But the sad thing is we all have a common enemy, but we're arguing about the identity politics, the shit in between.
The Mission Control Podcast.
All right. That was a good break.
All right.
Wow. Where do we kick off again?
Daryl, have you finished knocking over all the beers?
Oh my god. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. I wanted to kick off because we mentioned something before about. Did we mention Tesla? We talked about Tesla.
Yes.
Someone mentioned Tesla.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if we
Not
speak
Elon,
about this.
Tesla.
Yeah, people associate Tesla with Elon.
Just named this company
Something, and now this is going to bring up a few things because me and Daryl were sitting over the road having some beers a while back, and Daryl dropped some information on me that Donald Trump's uncle,
John
John G. Trump, was actually had what he took Tesla's tech, or the patents for his technology after he died.
Yeah, they were in control of basically holding the all the documents that Tesla made.
Yes, and the thing is now, when so I started to Google who's this John Trump and all this sort of stuff, and the first thing that I picked up on, and I said to Daryl, and I hope that you're going to confirm what I said, is I said to him, he looks a lot like Julian Assange.
Oh.
I said to Daryl, and I pulled up a photo of Julian Assange, and sort of went back and forth. I'm like, why he's got an ear? He looks so much has these physical features of Julian Assange. And then only a couple of weeks back, I started seeing some people posting on Instagram and stuff. Oh, doesn't John Trump look a bit like Julian Assange? I'm like,
yo.
but
that's, see this now.
That's a deeper thing about synchronicity as well. Are you not a believer of synchronicity? That doesn't really sound.
I don't believe in coincidence, if that's what you're saying.
I believe, cause and effect, right? Everything has a reason behind it, I think. But when you encounter things like synchronicity, I often find that it's kind of the universe's way of throwing you a bit of a bone.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's a pattern here. You're onto something, you know. Yeah. Even when you were walking by and Johnny.
Bro, I was about to say this interview is a perfect example of that.
Yeah. Oh, do you want to talk about that? What were you just chilling out? Or?
I just want to see this because this is.
Check this out. Yeah.
Oh, whoa, dude, that's very weird.
Yeah, there's some better photos that really compare the two.
No, but you can. I didn't think I'd see the face that easily.
And it really brings up to me the possibility.
Yo, that's very.
That's fucking weird. What if this war is quantum?
Anything's on the table at this point.
What if this is more it's non-linear warfare where people from past, present, everywhere are coming together, and we don't realize that things aren't as linear as they seem.
If Tesla said he could do something, I believe it. That man, is everything I've read about him. He said he could mess with time. He believed it, and nothing he's ever done, nothing he ever said that he could achieve, he didn't do it. He always did what he said he could do. That was what made him so amazing, was the fact that he never built prototypes. He never actually built test anything. He built finished final working products only. And that was why he was this unorthodox genius. Was because his labs weren't filled with anything testing or in progress. It was finished only. And that's why man, he says he can do something, I'm backing it, man.
Which is I guess why corporate capitalist structures didn't like that, because you can't have 20 million tests of the same phone or re-release shit over and over.
Legit.
He just built shit that worked.
Yep.
And how sad the way he died.
Horrible, man.
Just alone in the hotel room.
They crushed him, bro.
After being hit by a car, someone tried to fucking take him out first.
A taxi? Wasn't it a taxi?
How many times did they burn his labs down? 4 times?
Fucking sad, man.
Yeah, man. They brought him to his own demise mentally.
And they took what they wanted from his research, weaponized it, and then profited off it.
CERN. Yep.
Yeah. Well, CERN. That's a whole. That's a whole thing. The Gotthard tunnel opening ceremony, right? Yeah. We played that years ago at the hen house. But people were, I guess, wrongfully attributing it to CERN, but it was more of a tunnel opening. But it was basically in the same vicinity as CERN.
Yeah.
But what the fuck are they doing over there in Switzerland?
I mean, as part of my theory is, I'm just convinced that Assange might be, he's either John Trump that's come back in time, or he's
young John Trump,
or he's a clone. He's no, he's connected. He's
involved somehow.
Connection somehow. Yeah,
that's pretty uncanny, to be honest. That is pretty fucking uncanny.
Which also explains why the global resentment towards Assange. It seems really, he's in a glass cage in court. He's in court and he's
in
literally behind a bulletproof screen.
Is that
in a box,
because he's a hologram in a box?
Oh, who knows? Yeah.
It's like in Futurama when they just bring the head in the jar in.
Look at that post.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
And what if Assange isn't actually hacking into anything? He's just typing in the passwords that he knows, that he remembers.
Oh my gosh! Holy shit!
Well, little do people know that.
That's amazing.
Assange hacked into NASA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Assange was in some deep
He
shit, right?
cancelled a NASA launch.
Yeah, that's insane, eh?
That's next level shit.
And you're gonna tell me that someone can easily just hack into that? Nah, he had the login password.
Yep.
You probably got an email saying, "Oh, you haven't logged into this address for the last 50 years.
Well, yeah.
Would you like to confirm your identity?"
We did a whole
Can you
episode.
confirm you're not a robot?
Which
Have you seen that meme?
did you see the video of the robot? The
no, I
robot
can't.
that actually bypassed it. It's like a robot with a little pen, and it goes onto the laptop, and it bypasses the "Are you a robot?" And then it drops the pen, and then they drop that gangster dent thug life of this robot.
Yeah, the thug life. Yeah. Have you seen those memes of Zuckerberg sweating when he's clicking "I'm not a robot"? He's like sweating. Do you remember that famous speech he did where he took off his jacket?
Yeah, he had the
And
whole symbology inside the jacket.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
And
whoops.
mysteriously starts to sweat more than I've seen any human being sweat on the
After he
face.
takes off the jacket.
Yeah. And the lady's like, looks like some Illuminati,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, he doesn't dismiss it. He just sits there sweating.
But now
He
here's
doesn't even
the
dismiss
thing.
it.
Here's the thing. We were just saying before. Do you ever you meet some people, you talk to some people, where you just feel like they're not human, like they're not on that same
They're
level?
not on that, yeah.
It's
Absolutely,
It's
yeah.
like an autism frequency bandwidth or something.
Oh,
But even,
totally.
like,
but
but
on a sociopathic level. It's like,
But even like you see certain people on the TV or in media,
Bill
even
Gates.
on the streets, and you just look at them, and just there's something inside of you that just tells you you're not
right.
real.
Yeah, you're not real.
Yeah.
Dude, like the Bill Gates interview where they're like, oh, like the world's going into like global collapse. And he's like, yeah. And he's like laughing. And you're like, man, like humans don't do that.
Yeah.
Like a normal human being is not going to laugh at that sentence.
Bad thing, don't do that.
Yeah.
Remember that? This is
that'd be bad thing. Don't
that'd
do
be
that.
bad thing. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one to hear that. What was he talking about before that? He was like, John F. Kennedy Jr. is looking into the research about vaccines, and that'd be bad thing. Don't do that.
Well,
And it's like, what the fuck? Are you talking like a baby?
Robert Kennedy Jr.
Sorry, Robert Kennedy Jr.
JFK's
Sorry. Yeah.
nephew is still alive right now, and he is speaking out about Bill Gates and his vaccines, and he's been doing it for fucking years.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize.
He's a plant, though.
What, you reckon?
Dude, he's endorsed Hillary Clinton 3 times.
Okay.
Who has?
Kennedy Jr.
Really?
Yeah, bro, he's mad plant. That's the thing. He's come out. He's the one that went against Shiva, tried to take Shiva down.
Okay.
So Shiva came out and pushing all his stuff, and Kennedy Jr. and like the Vaxxed crew went against Shiva, trying to out him as a fraud, and then Shiva sued them.
Yeah,
Sued
okay.
Kennedy Jr. and shit for like fucking
Nice,
$9 million,
yeah.
man, full blown, and I think he's won. And yeah, because like Kennedy Jr. has endorsed Hillary like 3 or 4 times. So it's
That's
like,
weird.
Did not know
yeah,
that.
yeah, man, it's all smoke and mirrors.
Well,
eh?
it's also, yeah, but
I mean,
the
that's-
people controlled opposition, right? Yeah.
I mean, well, you kind of just... well, no, you didn't blow my argument, because, you can still go back on the whole, the JFK stuff.
Yeah.
And how Trump actually released the CIA documents about the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
But he purposely withheld certain documents citing national security stuff. And you're kind of like, well,
Why?
what is it? What is being hidden?
Yeah.
It's been, 50, 60 years now.
Who else was part of the Kennedy family that went missing on a boat trip?
Oh, no, there's, it was Robert Kennedy's niece, Robert Kennedy Jr.'s niece, and
Yeah.
his son.
Needless to say, anyone associated with that family has fucking died under mysterious circumstances or weird shit happened.
Yeah, definitely. But I also think that's part of this whole media problem is the Kennedy family is a big family. And if anything happens, and they're a famous family, and if anything happens to it, the media is just going to fucking throw it up the front and just turn it in.
Hard. Yeah.
Like, you know, anyone that happens to anyone else, no one cares.
Yeah.
But if it happens to a Kennedy,
Oh,
that's
it's instantly
media.
front
That's just
page.
fucking money.
Yes.
The news company's going
just
ching,
the
ching,
name
ching,
Kennedy
ching, ching.
attached to it.
Yeah.
Enough with the
Yeah.
racism,
Yeah.
okay, Johnny? Yeah, enough with that. Yeah.
Oh, bro. Okay, that true as.
What,
That
really?
is
Okay.
that is so fucked up. That
Yeah.
fucking. I'm gonna put it right now that this is fucked. That this is some racist thing because, man, this has been okay for how many fucking. Oh, that's dope. That's cool. That's awesome. Blah blah blah. And it's also many other things. But now it's a racist. Now it's a
Is it?
racist icon.
I thought that's Italian for
This is my
okay.
point. This is my
Bella,
point.
Bella.
And now,
Yeah.
now like this is the racist
Yeah,
thing, bro.
that's
This is
weird.
white supremacy. And it's like, since when?
Yeah.
Since when?
Yeah, I've
I'm
heard
not
about that.
backing that.
Oh,
now I'm
yeah.
conscious of my hands. Now I'm like, I don't know where to put my hands.
Totally, man.
Put your hands in your pocket, and the cops say, "Wear your
Let's
hands
do
in
it
your
like
pocket." I'll
this.
fucking shoot you.
I'm gonna do it like this now, just to make sure. Like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah,
What else does that mean? That means what 666?
yeah.
It also means the butthole.
Few other
Oh, that's
things.
getting really deep. That's getting really deep.
The black hole.
The black hole. But yeah, no, that's a normal thing. But it just goes to show, like, things are just repackaged as being bad. Like, it's weird, man. It's weird. What a weird time to be
I
alive.
suppose going back to that, which one was it first? Oh shit. Maybe it was okay last. Oh.
Now, who was it that disappeared on the plane? The plane crash. Was that Junior?
Yes, JFK Jr.,
JFK Junior
President Kennedy's son.
took off on
Oh,
the
John
plane.
John.
Took off on the plane late at night and just disappeared.
Well, the plane
The
crashed.
plane crashed. Yeah.
But there's always the rumors whether the body was actually recovered, and there's apparently there was video footage from the recovery thing that the US Navy were filming and stuff. That's all disappeared. All this
Yeah.
just disappeared.
Sounds
It's
about
like,
right. Kind of like the NASA telemetry data.
Of the moon?
Yeah.
Of the moon landing?
Yeah.
Have they just
we just don't have the technology anymore.
Sorry, we just lost everything. Yeah. Totally. But
We
whatever.
don't have that arc line that just gets to the rock over there. No, we can't figure that out.
No, that's true. Like all these pinnacle moments of important documents and shit, they just get lost.
We
Like,
just lost it. We wiped the drive. Like I put a sticker on it. I said, "Do not delete,"
And
he
someone
still
deleted
put
it.
porn on it.
well, we were talking about the Mandela effect. Like we were talking about how much shit during 9/11 has gone missing.
Oh man!
Like we can't find any of the Bin Laden video. Remember how he was threatening people through VHS videotape? It's like
his
bullshit.
CGI videos.
Bootlegging it out of car boots.
Yeah, and they always run that B-roll footage of Al Qaeda doing monkey bar shit.
What's the Elon Musk quote? It's
Can't
so
find it.
fake it must be real.
Yeah.
It looks so fake, so it must be real. Yeah, but we can't find any of that shit, let alone some of the very interesting revelations that were found during that time.
Hard.
Really hard to find it now. You even type in the phrase of what you're looking for, and you're hit with 10 pages of
Fact-checking.
mainstream, like exactly like CNBC, like MSNBC, CNN shit. Before you even find anything.
You're like
It's
6
all
pages in now. You got to go like the
crazy.
6th, 7th page on Google to find anything
Well,
relevant.
people called us crazy because we actually went on a bit of a binge where we tried to.
That's messed me up, man. I'm gonna delve this.
Yes, look into that. Look into Assange and John Trump. But
Assange's history, his background, the story sounds so made up.
Does
Like
it?
his family life,
I
like
agree
he's,
with that.
and there's nothing before that. Like
He looks like Lord of the Rings right here. He looks like 2 different characters from Lord of the Rings. Elven and Wizard.
you shall not pass.
yeah, no, I'm convinced he's a spy. Like he's actually a spy, or he's John Trump. I don't know.
But we did a whole episode on what made WikiLeaks famous, which was the collateral damage video. Remember that video in Iraq of them just laying waste to reporters?
The drone thing? The drone footage?
The Apache. It was
the helicopter footage.
helicopter just
And they're
going.
just like, this person, person, just
pretty much
wiping them out with weapons.
exactly, and they were all reporters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they? I didn't know that.
They were reporters,
Yo.
and they were in the region. They were in the region with like local security.
Didn't know that.
And they were they were canvassing the area. You see one guy pull out a camera and just take taking photos of the tanks that were lining the street because there was US military there. And then out of nowhere, they're just like, "Yep, open fire." What?
Yeah, that was so disturbing. Wait, what? What's going on? here?
Raytheon, okay. Do you guys know about Raytheon?
Why is Raytheon in WikiLeaks? I don't want to click on it. That's related to the that weather patterns that we were looking at.
Yeah, so we were talking a little bit about Harold Holt and Raytheon is one of those huge military companies. What are they, third in the world?
They're the third after like
Boeing,
Lockheed Martin, Boeing,
Boeing, and then you've got Raytheon. Yeah, and very, very fishy and very synchronicity related, because we were looking up the Harold Holt facility, convinced that there was something weird going on there. In terms of weather
and the Harold Holt facility in Exmouth is owned by Raytheon. And Raytheon bought the patents off E-Systems that ran HARP in Alaska.
Yeah, so HARP and Raytheon and Australia, very connected.
Boy.
And they're running shit right in Exmouth.
Wow.
Not very far from here.
No.
And it's absolutely insane when we found that out. Like, and the patents that they held were basically, they're an offshoot of HARP, basically. They took that research and ran with it. And now they're basically experimenting and buying over all these local military stations. You know, insane that the Exmouth station is not even Australian
soil
owned. Like that is a US.
There's a lot of US soil
military
now in Australia.
Pine Gap,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Pine Gap and all that stuff. Not only that, but they can remain Australian, but at any point they can be taken over.
Yeah.
So they have
turn into American soil suddenly.
Exactly. They have jurisdiction to basically say for the next 6 months we're going to run a project here and you don't know anything about it. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, one of my someone I know, I'll censor that a little bit. Someone I know used to work at Pine Gap. And they
For real?
Yeah, and they told me some pretty crazy stories.
It's crazy. And half of shit's underground, right?
It's all underground.
It's all underground.
Yeah, it's all underground. So like there's a surface level facility, but the person I knew said that everything they did was like 30 levels down.
Yep. And Pine Gap, which is in Alice Springs, has a very real. They helped a lot in the Iraq War with monitoring and stuff like that, especially cell phone monitoring.
Yeah.
Basically, a cell phone monitoring station. Yeah.
Well, we're like, that's like the array for this side of the world, right?
Oh yeah. For this area.
World.
Yep.
Yeah.
They even had a hand in the the bogus MH disappearance of the plane.
That was so ridiculous. Black boxes suddenly don't exist.
Oh man, that is fishy as shit. We've done an episode on that as well. But yeah, what are you reading?
He's going deep into something. I'm not looking. I'm not self-incriminating here.
What is it?
This is Hillary Clinton's emails.
No, I thought we weren't looking at this.
Why are you looking at this? I'm not ready to die.
One of the questions is the pizza party.
Oh shit.
Hey, LeBron James really likes pizza parties. I'm just digging a hole here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but
what did she say? Have a slice for me.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Really weird.
God damn. Hillary.
Yeah, man. Hillary, I like to call
Hillary. Kill Gates.
Funny how people defend people they don't know.
I find that amazing.
How weird is that? Like, when people come out of the woodwork to defend people that they don't know, because in terms of identity politics, they fit with them. Like,
I still think
she's a woman. And I'm like, you think women can't be evil? Like,
but I also think it's like the Hollywood effect, man. People think actors are good people. You know what I mean? Like they go, oh, but Tom Cruise is no, he's a bad example. It's like, Brad Pitt's a nice guy or whatever. Yeah. It's like you don't know that person at all. The only thing you know of them is them acting, and they're basing that. Oh, but in their interviews, they're actors. They're professional pretenders. Their interview is not a view into their life. Yeah. It's like they're still on camera. Like, man, it's like, oh man. But that's that whole thing. It's like, oh, but they seem like a nice person. It's like, no shit, man. The only time you see someone is when they're on camera. Yeah, sure, they're a nice person, but nice doesn't mean good. And I always say that nice is not good. I can be nice. How
can you be so sure, like defending people that you don't know? Yeah.
I don't defend anyone.
Yeah, man, it's fucking weird. Yeah. Did you uncover anything with the emails?
I don't want to go.
What?
Well,
don't want to talk about it.
You don't even have to dig deep. It's publicly available.
it's publicly. I mean, people have
Wiki,
died over this stuff, so I'm not really wanting to.
Yeah, that's why I'm not looking.
But that's the thing. I could pull up something from these emails and post directly out of the emails, and someone say, "Oh, it's a conspiracy."
Yeah, I know.
Like, how can it be a conspiracy if it's
there?
If it's right
But
there?
that's what happened when they leaked them. People were like, oh, it's like, what do you, like, how are you denying? It's just like proper cognitive dissonance. It's like evidence.
You're telling me that someone faked and made 50,547 pages of fake documents?
And not only that, she herself got them deleted.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's in court testifying against them, what, is that still a conspiracy? Yeah. I mean,
But Biden, man, come on.
Oh my God, he doesn't even know where he is.
He doesn't know where he is.
The fact
they just push him out onto the stage.
Do you remember?
Cross their fingers. Let's just hope he doesn't touch anyone inappropriately tonight.
have you seen that video where he's what was it? That speech he was giving, right? He was like, "I got hairy legs," and we were like, "What? Someone shut this." You can imagine all the people in the background just like, "Cut this guy off."
I don't know why they keep pushing him out. Like, surely they're like, "Man, we got to pull the plug on this guy." Like, he's making our job real tough.
And I love kids on my lap.
Man, what did he say? Like, if you don't vote.
No, he was like, if you were having trouble deciding between me and Trump or something like that, you ain't black. If you ain't,
right.
yeah. And you're like, wait a minute. Who was he talking to? He was talking to Charlemagne, right? He was talking to Charlemagne. And even Charlemagne, like, glossed over it because he was like, this is really awkward. Like, I could see him shit himself and he's like, you ain't black. He looks so, like,
he's senile.
Accomplished.
Yeah, he's senile.
He was like, yeah, that was a good one, yeah.
He's surely senile.
Oh my goodness.
When he's like the girls that come on stage and he's like
yeah.
Mate, you're on camera.
Yeah, it's probably not good to sniff someone's hair on camera. Yeah. But how funny is it that people are willing to vote for him just because it's not the other guy?
Well, have you seen the video? It's called oh man, what's it called? Campus Reform. YouTube channel Campus Reform. It's fucking amazing. And this dude like goes around like all these campuses and basically gets all quotes from like Democratic Party members, but then goes to the students and goes, "Oh, I'm going to read you out some quotes of Trump, and I want you to tell me what you think of them." And so he reads them all out, and they're all just like, "Oh, of course that's what he'd say. Like, that's so racist, as blah, blah, blah." And then he's like, "Well, actually," at the end of the interview, he's like, "Actually, like, Hillary Clinton said that one. Biden said that one." And they're all just like, you know, sometimes people say things they don't mean, and they're like trying to crawl their way out of the grave. Eh? It's like, man.
It's so funny calling their bluff. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Just like,
During this congressional hearing the other night, there was this old guy who was reading out some of the emails between two high-level FBI agents, because they were arguing about this whole like a bias against Trump, and there's like the Rosenstein FBI saying, "No, there's been no bias in the FBI against Trump." So he starts reading out the emails by these two high-level FBI agents, and one's like, "Donald Trump is a douche." Oh my God, did you see Donald Trump talk about his penis? He's not going to be president. The other guy's like, "No, we'll make sure of it." And like these are emails between high-level FBI agents, and it's like,
This is all happening now, and no one's noticing. And I'm not like ragging on people for not noticing, but don't rag on other people if they're
for noticing.
Like, come on now,
right on.
We're actually all together, right?
I think it is.
It's like this is like the worst time to be shutting people out, and yet that is what people are doing.
I think that's the thing, man. Is like, there's this whole, if you're not with us, you're against us. And what people need to actually look at is like, there's a lot of people that are like doing their own jobs. There's a lot of people online right now that have been aware of this. Like all of us in this room, we've been aware of a lot of the stuff we're talking about for fucking years, if not many, many years. Like, this isn't new stuff for some people. And there's people online now that are like meticulously doing their own fact checking, doing their own research, presenting it out there. There's people out on the streets that are mediating these protests, that are trying to keep them from turning to riots. There's people in politics that are trying to do things. Like there's people in all facets that are actually doing jobs. And so like to sort of add to what you're saying is now is the worst time to shut people out for having let's say more light to shed on a situation than you're aware of, whether or not you agree with it, whether or not it's contradictory to what you're willing to accept. Like now is the time to actually like entertain it, because there's people out there that while you're sitting doing TikTok videos, a lot of fucking people, they're fucking staying up fucking 14 hours a day studying like meticulously. So like listen to those people.
Well, exactly. I was going to say, there's so many people out there that are screaming and yelling things and they want people to listen, but they will not listen to things themselves.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Like is that hypocrisy? Is that
yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, they're drowning out other people with their own voice.
And I think the biggest like factor, well not the biggest factor, but another big factor in it is like, call it conspiracy, call it what you want. You don't need to bring the general consensus to an argument with a conspiracy theorist. You don't need to bring what everyone already accepts as your argument to someone that's already challenging it. They've come from the world you're in. You know, like if you're challenging someone that's fringe theorying and you call them a tinfoil hat person, they've come from your belief system. They don't need to hear you tell them it again. And I feel like that's where this constant diffusion of information, because someone says, oh, well, this is something you need to know about. And they go, oh, no, but it's like this. And it's like, yes, but the person telling you that came from where you are. So they've gone somewhere else.
They've seen that.
You don't need to tell them that because they've left your position and moved somewhere else. You need to listen to that person, then disagree. And props to all my friends around the world, man. Like, again, with what we're talking about, like, there's been a lot of sort of cast opinions. I've lost a lot of sort of so-called friends or associations at the moment, but I've gained a shit ton of like international support, both on like what we've been talking about tonight and music. So yeah, shouts to like all my international homies, man. It's been crazy sort of connecting with the world during this time.
You know, I sometimes joke with Johnny, but I say it all the time, like get prepared to be a bit lonely during these times.
Hey, hard man. Dude, I've lost lots of people through my life.
I've lost a lot of. I've divorced myself from a lot of people. Not only, almost like I'm so. I care about how people feel so much that I've removed myself.
yeah, I do that too.
From people. So it's like, you know what? If you're going to treat people like how you're treating people, I'm going to preemptively...
I'm going to step myself out of this.
I'm actually going to leave. I'm going to walk out myself. And that's okay. I won't bother you with my shit anymore. I feel like the real people are going to hang around.
Hard.
But you know what? It's... I don't want to sound cocky, but like you don't deserve the effort that we put in if you don't listen to us.
Hard.
Like,
if you're gonna shoot the messenger, man.
If you're gonna shoot us down for simply trying with the best of intentions to
alert people,
shed some light on some things.
I want that blue tick on our podcast. we will survive. We will be one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
The podcast will go on.
With a way to end. All right.
Thanks heaps. Guys, as well, hit us up on Instagram, Twitter. Check us out on YouTube.
Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff.
Yeah. We want to hear from you as well. We want to engage with people as well and really, share
while we still can. Literally while we still can. This is the time to make content. I don't care who you are. But this is the time.
One love.
This is the time to cherish.
Really going for that
pyramid shit.
Yeah. Hopefully we're getting that funding.
Because you know what? When it's gone, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah.
When it's gone, you're gonna miss it. And 100%. I hope this never goes away. So yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah.